When most people think of Japanese armor, they imagine fearless samurai warriors dressed for battle. They do not think of art. But Japanese armor, such as the suit pictured here, provided more than protection from the blows of war. It blended utilitarian functionality with cultural values, rank symbolism, and artistic expression. The samurai were an elite ruling warrior class in Japan from 794 to 1867. There were five main periods of history for samurai armor: the Heian, Kamakura, Muromachi, the Azuchi, Momoyama, and the Edo period. There was also the Meiji period after the samurai class had been ended. As shown in this diagram, the main parts of the 19th century Japanese armor included the helmet, face mask, chest plate, hip skirts, amongst other things. These parts are being reconstructed in the Edo suit by craftspeople and artists who have studied the ancient techniques, some of which have been passed on throughout the centuries. Not shown on the previous slide, the armored foot covering called kokage often had practical uses. Protecting the feet of any infantry person is critical, and once again the artistic fashion style of the Japanese armor military suit followed life-saving functionality. The Japanese suit of armor, known as yoroi, was historically made of many small pieces crafted together by many artists. Typical base materials were steel and leather. They were lacquered to each and then artistically made to be symbolic and reflect the rank and the status of the warriors who wore the outfit. Here an artist is patching leather on the over 200-year-old piece. This is part of the ornate decorated covering that went over the iron plates on the chest plate. The stitching reveals how refined and intricate the work was, often indicating the owner's status, wealth, as well as his clan and political affiliation. The average samurai suit of armor took over a year and the skills of many artisans to make it. Similarly, many specialists and preservationists worked for months to restore this piece. Notice the use of gloves and cotton-tipped swabs to help protect this piece from further damage. Here the artist is working on the crest for the suit of armor's headpiece. A distinguishing feature of Japanese armor with a lacquer applied to it. It helped protect it against the elements and rust. Here an artist is applying lacquer to the Edo suit being restored. Japanese armor was lighter and more flexible than the armor worn by the English knights. It was specifically designed for mobility to allow easy use of arrows and the samurai sword. The hip skirts being dusted here were attached with the leather bindings. This binding allowed for mobility in battle. In the earliest armored suits, most of the suit's weight was carried on the warrior's shoulders on iron plates. That changed over time and more was transferred to the hips in the Edo period suits seen here. The suit's shin guards were made of mail, which is fine steel chain link. Chain mail appeared in the Japanese armor in the 14th century. The reconstructionist artists at the Asian Art Museum used fine hair silk and cotton patches to restitch the shin guards and their padded support. The artist made every effort possible to use authentic materials. Many suits of armor were decorated with animals like tigers or cranes, supernatural or mythological creatures or beings. This ornate armor suit with a Paulownia crest is made of metal, silk cord, silk fabric, leather, and lacquer, and is from the Momomayan period. Like many samurai armor suits, this piece was artistically designed to be intimidating. The crest indicated the samurai's lineage. Here is likely a retainer of Hideyoshi. This round helmet is made of metal painted red. It is lined with indigo dyed cotton and has a deer skin leather trim and ear flaps. The suit's body features lacquered metal panels with a gold vine and peony design. The soled shoulder pads have a tortoiseshell design and are made of quilted cotton. The suit does not just protect the warrior, it also communicates the owner's wealth, aesthetic taste, affiliations, and accomplishments. Like the helmet, the leg coverings were metal painted red. Each metal piece on the leg coverings is signed and stamped by the artist. In this case, these were made in the workshop of Mitsuda. It is likely many different artists made this suit of armor, all tutored under the same masters. There are very few surviving relatively intact armor suits from the late Kamakura period, and this is one of them. The body armor was boxy and suitable for fighting on horseback like many at the time. It had lamellar construction, which is made up of many small plates made of rows of overlapping small iron lames laced together. It was then covered with lacquered leather. There are chrysanthemums on the cuirass of this famous piece of armor, yet the shoulder plate has plum blossoms on it. This indicates that various pieces from the original suit may have been lost and replaced, as is common with artistic artifacts that are centuries old. Also, the helmet here, while of the type used in the era, likely was not made for the suit of armor. Along with having different decoration, the scales are slightly rounded on the shoulder plate, while those of the armor's protective hip skirts are flat. Moreover, the lacquer colors are slightly different from the lacquer used on the arm. This indicates that the original sword was lost and is no longer with this Japanese suit of arms. Fortunately, artists took photographs and made drawings of the original swords after this historically rare, almost complete suit of early Japanese armor was purchased in 1905. These have preserved what the original pieces looked like, which is not only historically important, but also allows the models to be made for other museums to display. This drawing, as well as a photograph of the original helmet taken in the late 18th or 19th century, shows us this is not the original piece. Nonetheless, the pieces from the displayed suit of ancient Japanese armor provides modern artists with insight regarding the artistic and utilitarian value of this functional form of art. Japanese samurai armor changed and adapted throughout the centuries as war tactics, weaponry, and technology changed. Japanese armor has remained a form of functional art by both protecting those who wore it and by expressing their aesthetic preferences. It remains significant today as people remember and celebrate their heritage and the sacrifices of the warriors who helped shape Japan.